What's going on, everybody? It's your observant lineman here, Uche Nwaneri, and we're going to do a quick breakdown on a couple of plays from last week's Baltimore, Las Vegas season opener. The Ravens losing to the Raiders in overtime. Now, these are the two most crucial plays of the game where we have in this play the Baltimore Ravens trying to move the ball down the field, and they get a blitz that is not picked up properly by the Baltimore Ravens offensive line and the running back, which ultimately causes for a sack fumble with Lamar Jackson. And this turns the ball over, and the subsequent plays afterwards, you will see the Raiders score the game-winning touchdown. But let's take a look at this play here with Baltimore to start. Now, there's something that they do here that's very interesting on Las Vegas' side with the Raiders, and it actually creates a bit of confusion with one of the linemen for the Baltimore Ravens, and ultimately, I think that is the biggest reason why this play doesn't work out. Now, here we've got our four D linemen identified, and we've got a linebacker and a DB who are also in the box. Now, what you're going to see here when this play is run is you're going to see our defensive back here, number 24, bail out and get into coverage, while also you're going to see this defensive end or defensive tackle here actually start to slide outside as if he is going to be the one who's going to be dropping out of the picture here, but he's going to actually blitz, and not necessarily a blitz. What this really amounts out to be at the end of the day is a ET stunt, because the defensive end is going to crash down into the guard, and that linebacker here, this stand-up D lineman, as we would call him, a spinner, we would call a guy like this a spinner, he is going to actually rotate out here and bring his rush from the outside. Now, I want you to pay attention to the kind of confusion that we're going to get here from our right tackle. Now, what I will say about our right tackle, number 78, is that first and foremost, when you look at his stance, I don't like this stance whatsoever. First, he has his toe pointed to the sideline, which is not how you want to have your legs set up in your stance. You want to have both feet pretty much pointing down the field, maybe a little bit slight angle on it, but to be turned out completely like this, not something that I would do, but this is his stance. Now, the more important issue that I have with his stance here is look at his head. He is looking at the ground. He is not looking up at this defense to see what are these guys doing. He's not paying any attention here. So he actually has no idea that this guy is sliding out, disguising a drop, disguising to look as if he's going to drop out, and then he comes on the rush. So we'll see as the play gets started here that he has no idea. And so he crashes down with this spiking defensive end. And I can tell you, just from that very first moment I saw this, I knew that he was wrong. He should be passing this guy off with his eyes out here to the defensive end. He should be seeing this guy on the rush, and he should be getting back into a pass set to take on that rush. Now, the problem that also comes with this is that our running back here, who is scanning to help protect on any leakage on the inside, by the time he recognizes that there is a rush that's unblocked coming off the edge, him and the tackle are both too late to do anything really about it. Now, the running back does make a mistake here, and he actually attempts to use his shoulder to get this block, but he uses the wrong one. You're supposed to actually wrong shoulder this. And when we say wrong shoulder in football, it means you're supposed to cross the body of the defender with your outside shoulder, outside in, instead of inside out. So that would have given him the ability to cut off this rush somewhat. At this point, that is almost even too late, but it would have given him the ability to somewhat stop or slow down or mitigate this rush so that there isn't a free run on Lamar Jackson, who actually, as you can see, has no idea that this guy is coming off the edge and is not being blocked. So he does have a pocket to pass from. This is actually a good job picking up the other side with this tackle here. But at the end of the day, when you don't have the awareness to actually trust what your eyes are telling you, by actually seeing what the defense is doing, which our right tackle did not do, then this is the result that you have, and this costs Baltimore dearly. Now, on the other side of this, you're going to see almost the exact same scenario play out for the Las Vegas Raiders in this play, where they actually get a similar kind of blitz, where you've got guys coming off the edge and they actually pick it up pretty well. Not perfect, but they pick it up pretty well. So first and foremost, let's look at our front four. These are 4 identified defensive linemen for the Ravens. They've got 1 linebacker sitting in the middle of the field, nobody behind him. That should be a big red flag that this is going to be a 0 blitz. Now, what I think here that we get from the Las Vegas Raiders is I think that they're running a turn protection. Turn protection is zone protection in the pass game for the offensive line. So how does that work? What's going to happen is the entire offensive line, and in this case, it includes the tight end. What they're going to do is they're going to be pass setting to protect their inside gap. So this tight end will be taking anything that comes into this gap. This tackle, he will be holding his presence here for that tight end. You don't want to bail on him and open up this gap any wider than it needs to be, which would lead to you getting split by a defender. But he's going to keep his eyes to this gap, and he's going to take anything that comes and threatens this gap. And that is going to be the same deal for the rest of the line here, is that every person, including this tackle, should keep his eyes to the outside here with presence up for your inside guy so that he can secure his gap. Now, with that being done, the running back will come and protect the backside of this zone protection, and he'll take anything coming off the edge. And for our tackle, if something comes from very wide, you detach and you go and take on that so that you don't give up any kind of outside rush on the quarterback late. So what we're going to have here, as you see, is the running back's going to come across, and the running back's going to actually do a really good job here. He's got his eyes already there. He's already looking, and he knows that he's going to have to take on a defender. And with that, he's coming across the formations to do that. Now, the interior 3 here on the offensive line, I think, do the best job of actually executing the zone, because here you see he has presence up for this offensive lineman so that he doesn't get split here by moving away from him. Same thing here with our left guard. Not quite as square as I'd like him to be, but he's still got his presence up here to protect his center so that his center doesn't get split by him moving away from him and bailing on that space and creating a natural lane for a defender to run through. And we've got kind of the same thing here with our tackle. Only problem is our tackle actually does a little bit too much in way of following this guy. He should have his eyes out wide, looking for anything coming wide, because we do have a defender who is blitzing from a distance here. Now, he realizes that late. He does. And he gets over and he begins to adjust. Now, it's not always going to be the prettiest thing in the world, but the fact that he sees this and reacts means that he does understand the concept of what he is supposed to do. And that, at the end of the day, saves this play, because it could have been a lot worse if he was able to get closer to Derek Carr to make that play. But this is the difference between victory and defeat: execution. And we didn't get that kind of execution that you need to have from the Baltimore Ravens. And that was the difference, because you had the exact same kind of scenario for the Raiders on the other side, and they had the awareness to see what was happening and to make the adjustments, to make the blocks, which led to the throw from Derek Carr to win this game. This is a breakdown that I tried to do quick to give you guys a quick kind of crash course on certain plays in certain games. If you like this, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I am your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri. Appreciate you guys very much for checking out my quick breakdown on the Baltimore Raiders game. I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out.